fact, we should jam sometime, everybody. Here with frontman for Oh Geronimo, Ciaran. How's it going, man?
Good, man. You?
Good. Just met a couple minutes ago. It's my first my second time, that I've interviewed somebody that's not in the program. So, just getting used to my interviewing skills, man.
I guess I'm not currently in the program.
Yeah, you were though back. I
was.
And that's where this started.
I had a band in high school, like late high school, that lasted less than a year called Cardboard Fox.
Oh, okay.
And I started that with a couple of friends, and then that sort of fizzled out. And then when I went into MIA, this band sort of started as like, a lot of the projects you have to like have some original songs and stuff like that. So I was just doing it for the projects at first, and I think it sort of spiraled into like becoming a real thing.
Right. Yeah, that's always a good way to start, because you didn't have like a performance class back. Were you 2013? What class were you?
Yeah, I think class of 2013.
Right.
I think was when I graduated. That's
great.
weird to say. I haven't
thought about that.
I did not like realizing that at all. Yeah. I was in. I don't know if it means anything, but I was in the same year as like the guys in Texas King.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Olivia and the Creepy Crawlies and OCD were first year when I was second year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that means anything to you.
Yeah. No, yeah, it does.
But
yeah, I met the Texas King guys a few times. Actually, I just started doing loadout for London Music Hall last night.
Oh, nice.
And two of the Phil and Jordan are doing that too. Yeah.
Jordan's doing it now too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, they're awesome guys, man. I love those guys.
What's that like going to school with? Like, that's a good year.
You know what? It was an intimidating couple of years for sure. Especially like I would consider myself sort of like late to the game when it came to playing music. Like I didn't really actually start trying to write songs or actually playing until like grade 12.
Oh, okay.
I was just like that. I wasn't really like super athletically inclined. So I was just like, my thing was I could like play a little guitar. Like, I could play like a Chili Pepper song at a party. You know what I mean? Like that guy. So yeah, and I think like that our year was definitely like there were so many talented people.
Yeah.
And I think it was like definitely feeling the pressure to be like, oh man, like I gotta be better than I am.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's good though. I'm in second year right now, and I think that this is also a really good year. So it does kind of, if you want to do it, it's good. If you're like, holy fuck, there's like 5 bands or whatever that are killing it right now. Like, you don't want to be left out of that, right? So I think that's good if you have that kind of pressure. For sure.
Yeah, how's that going for you then? How you liking it?
Good. I love it. And there's a lot of like performance classes. That's what I was actually going to get to before. Like, we had performance in first year. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, the band that I got put in is almost my exact band right now. Because we had a girl singer, and she was late. We had like a 6 a.m. practice or something, so she was just running late. So I just started like playing my stuff, and then like the bass player that you just met is the bass player in my band, Hayden. And this guy Drake, we were just put together, and then they were like, well, let's just do this anyway. And then like we got my other roommate Nick to join in on guitar, and it just started that way. So it's good. There's a lot of really good acts this year. So yeah, it's definitely a high pressure. I think Share the Land's in a couple weeks, and it's the biggest one. There's 23 acts right now for Share the Land. Yeah. So it's a lot. Crazy. Yeah, and we're doing it at Music Hall this year too, which is exciting.
Oh, really? Like in the big room?
Yeah. So
that's cool. It's usually the Aioli.
Yeah. This is the first year they're doing it at Music Hall, which is pretty cool.
I think it's like maybe a more well-suited venue, maybe. Yeah, like it's like quite a rock show. Right?
Yeah. So. Especially this year too. There's a ton of like rock bands or like rock-esque bands. So that's
wicked. Yeah, I sort of heard that like after like my year had passed, there was a lot less rock.
Right.
Not in a worse or better way. Yeah. But yeah, like it's interesting that.
I think that this year was sort of like a resurgence for that. Because there's a lot of like electric artists now coming in and doing their thing too, but it's still geared towards that. There's a lot of good like indie rock stuff going on too, so that's cool.
How would you classify your music?
I usually, the elevator pitch we usually give is like Queens of the Stone Age meets like Alice in Chains kind of thing, like alt rock thing. Yeah, so we're actually finally getting ready to put out some music soon.
What's the name of your project?
Lost Arts.
Lost Arts. Yeah, I've seen. I think I started following you guys on Facebook.
I think so. Yeah, probably. So it's we're still getting the train. We played 6 shows, I think, around London. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, we're just getting a master back for the first song we're gonna put out. So now I'm gonna try to use that to get out of town a little bit. Yeah. Play out of town a little bit. But how'd you find that? That's what I'm always curious with other bands. Like you guys have quite a bit of success right now, you say. Or like,
it sort of is what you make it. I sort of feel like certain things come easier than they used to.
Right.
But it's one of those things, man. It's always like, you're always like, if you can't just like enjoy what you got going right now, then it's never gonna be. So like, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I don't know. We had our own. The way we sort of got it going was we had our own house venue going.
Okay. Which one was that?
The guest room.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that was sort of like pretty much all the members of Oh Geronimo lived there.
Okay.
And that was like our first show.
Right.
And we were actively trying to bring, obviously, artists from London, but we would also, like, every show we'd bring like 1 or 2 out of town.
Oh, cool.
And I think like just like forming relationships with out of town musicians and becoming just friends, and that sort of led to a lot of things. Like I have some really good friends of mine up in Sudbury that we met, who have been great to us. They're in a band called Almighty Rhombus.
Okay.
And they just like, we just met them by playing a show with them in London, and I think we were just like, come sleep at our house, man.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then it was like one of those moments like, do we just become best friends? Yeah. But they've been like that's just like one connection that we always have, like whenever we want to play like in Northern Ontario, they always hook it up, and then the same goes, when they're coming down this way, we try to like get them on bills. Yeah. Where like, maybe we can draw more.
Right.
So
Yeah.
It's like it's very like community based. I think it still is.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're starting out.
It's a lot of this getting out of your comfort zone kind of thing, because it's like it's a lot easier not to ask than it is to ask, obviously, right? Because you have the whole fear of not knowing what's going to happen. But I've also noticed that it usually just kind of works out because people want to at least like try to support you anyway, give you the opportunity, right? So it's just a little discouraging off the bat sometimes when you're like, nobody's answering my email, or like, how do I get on a show or whatever, right? Like.
For sure, man. And like, I don't know, like, are you reaching out to like promoters or like venues directly? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's what I haven't really reached out of town yet, just because I'm like, we're close to having finished songs. So
you want to kind of wait.
Yeah. But around here, I ended up we played Fitzray's once. Those guys gave us a try, and then they loved it, and we played like right after the Arkells played Budweiser Gardens, and like Fitzray's is right across.
It's so on, what's that street again? Talbot.
Yeah. So it was perfect because my drummer Drake was actually at that show, so I was like, hey, can we play at like midnight or something? He's like, yeah, perfect. So like as soon as the show was out, like it just fills up, people. Right? Yeah. So that was cool. But so I haven't reached out yet, but I don't know. I'm good now because I've sent so many emails now. But in like September, I was like, man, what's going on? Like nobody, like 2 out of every like 6 that you email will actually like respond, maybe, right? So it's depending what's going on, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still feeling like, and I don't know. We've been playing shows for like, I don't know, quite a few years now.
Yeah,
4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
I'm still finding that like 9 times out of 10, it's like the best thing is to just like go like contact like bands directly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and be like if there's a band that maybe you've come across or you even like, and like in another city, like, I think it works to offer them a show in this area, and then kind of be also like. And then when the time comes when you want to do some touring out in their area, maybe if you form a bond, they'll do you a solid. Right. And then not only are you able to play there, but you're also playing knowing you're playing with a band that can draw there. Yeah. So you didn't just land the show.
Yeah, and you don't know what's going to happen. Like you kind of can expect like an audience or whatever, like a turnout.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I haven't heard that piece of advice yet, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's like the only way I do it now. I mean, we're from Burlington, and that's where we're based. Like that's where most of us live and practice. But we're sort of like that kind of gets lugged under the Toronto umbrella now. So Toronto's like one of the only cities that I can like feel confident about like reaching out to some venues directly,
right?
And knowing that maybe they might have heard of us,
right,
or had us hosted us in the past, and we had done a decent job. London as well, just because we were based out of London for quite a few years too. So
right,
there's a couple people here that we could reach out directly, but as of late, like playing Taj Mahal has been,
yeah.
I played it in October, and I was like, we got to play here again.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So.
It's usually a pretty good turnout there.
Yeah.
A lot of like alumni actually now I've noticed are usually hanging.
Yeah,
out.
well, I mean, our year was like big on the house show thing because of what we like guest rooms and stuff that we were putting on. So I think it's like there's sort of like this nostalgic, like,
right?
We got to like, let's just play house shows like when we can, you know.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels. Yeah, it's kind of just where we cut our teeth, you know.
Right. I know a bit about the house show like history, but was that one of the first like actual venue house cars that we had, or like
I don't know?
Did you guys bring that up after? Did you sort of follow the tradition?
We weren't really. There was only one, and I'd never been, but I'd only heard of one other house doing it. But I don't think they were Fanshawe associated, and I think they were called the Dude Ranch.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, like we just, I sort of did it just to kind of like, just to have a place to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know, at the time, still do. We like to party and host people.
Yeah.
And like be social. So I don't know. We just started it like just for the hell of it. See how it goes. And I don't know. We never got in too much trouble. We lived on like just north of Cheapside on Irving.
Okay.
I don't know. So it's kind of tucked away from like the like Fleming area where like, so for whatever reason, like even though there was a lot of families around, we never had the cops called on us. And our landlord was like, I don't think he knew that anything of it was going down. He was like when we were leaving, he's like, "You sure you guys want to leave?" And we were like, "Yeah, man." There was like 100 people here. Like, yeah.
That's good. I don't know. I don't think the Taquito ever got shut down, and the Tars has never been shut down. So, and the Taquito is on Hartlett. So I don't know. If it's if you go down, it's on like the other side, like behind where the 7-Eleven is and stuff. It's like kind of that area. Yeah.
Oh, like south of Oxford.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a little. It's not. It's more families than students over there. But there's never an issue. It's never like that loud, really. Like if you walk up on a party or whatever, it's never that bad that you'd have to complain. But well, yeah. So you working on your second album then, or that's done? You're ready to release it?
Yeah, man. Actually, I've got an advanced copy for you.
Oh, sweet. First that's advanced copy. Thanks.
Yeah. We can do that. I can give that to you live on the podcast.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's obviously done.
Clearly finished.
Yes. Well, you know, I could be fooling you.
Yeah. It's
like, see you later, man. Enjoy. And you like go to listen to it. It's like, there's nothing in here.
It's just like weird polka music or something.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
It's like a mixtape of my favorite songs.
It's just like your rap project that nobody knows about.
It's like a CD I made in grade 8. Like Ciaran's favorites.
Awesome.
So that's our second record.
Yeah.
It's 7 tracks, so it's sort of in between an EP and an album, but we're just calling it a record. And I feel like if you have enough songs, sometimes calling it an EP sort of, it can maybe cheapen it a little bit. So
yeah, I was gonna ask about that because your first one, Sleep Rhythms, was 9, right? Yeah. Yeah, because that's a bigger deal to say that you have an album out than just like an EP kind of, right?
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. And I think 7 songs is when you could probably start calling it an album. You can kind of go either way with that.
Maybe like 10 years ago, like people would crucify you for saying that's an album. Yeah. But I've seen people do like a 5-song.
There's a lot of 9-song albums recently, I've noticed.
It's just like these days, man, like it's all about, especially like, I guess this is my opinion, but I think especially when you're still sort of like trying, you don't have like this dedicated following that you can go anywhere and expect people to know you and stuff. So if you're still like trying, I think like it's more important to just get music out more frequently.
Right.
I mean, and I say that like obviously like only recording songs that you are proud of and
like your good
quality,
stuff.
But you know, instead of like doing like 4 or 5 years and like just so you can have like 12 songs, because like, you know, it's hard to ask someone to sit down and listen to like 45 minutes of a band they've never heard of or sort of like, you know what I mean? True. So that's my approach. Some people sort of are on the other side of it. I feel like that's like even like within our band, that's like people have opposing views, but we made this record. It was sort of like a cathartic thing because we had 6 members like a year and a half ago, and then 3 of them left. Wow. And we had to find 2 more guys.
Right.
Or we sort of didn't know what we were gonna do. Yeah. And like, but I was still sort of writing songs, and I think like the whole sort of ordeal sort of inspired me. So, and I don't know. I think I just put it back together, not knowing that we would be like a touring act, but I just wanted to like continue making music. And then I think that we were like, let's just like book time in the studio just so like we have to do it. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, let's just turn it out. Yeah. So that's sort of like it just sort of happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Where'd you do it? Where'd you record it at?
We did it at Scioli in Uxbridge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With we recorded it with MIA alumni Justin Melly.
Okay.
He's also like closely affiliated with the guys in Crownlands.
Okay,
their record.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I thought they did it. Yeah.
Hey?
Did they do it there?
Yeah, they did Chalet. Yeah. It's cool. It's like Rush recorded there, and Bare Naked Ladies. Yeah. And some other cool acts. It's like a cottage though, man. Like the vibe is so it's like a cottage, but like their equipment is like state of the art.
Right.
And like and they also like double as a bed and breakfast.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, it's like, and it's sort of like, it's like this big house, and then right beside it is like the studio house.
Oh, cool.
But they sort of connect. I think there's like a hallway that connects both houses.
That's cool.
So like technically you could be a band recording, and there could be like a family
just
staying
a family
in the
hanging out.
I don't think they would do that, but for us, we were able to like make a couple days out of it and stay in the B&B. Like it was like really nice.
Oh,
it was
that's
like
killer.
It was like a cottage getaway, man.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had a bed and breakfast too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And you get like a discount if you're like recording there.
Right. So. Yeah.
Highly recommend it. It's definitely like, it's not the most economical choice. Right. I mean, like, I would say if you would consider it like a high tier studio, it's pretty economical. Right. But it's still like, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars to make it work. You know?
Right. How long did it take to do it?
We did it in 3 days, actually. We never worked that fast.
Oh, wow.
And we, because it's like we did sort of like a rock band setup. So we had like drums, bass, electric guitars, acoustic guitar, piano. We brought in a saxophone player.
Oh, cool.
We brought in a horns player, and we brought in, actually we did this in another session, but we had a strings player too.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, in 3 days we did the songs live off the floor. So we played it all together. We didn't keep everything, but the drums, the bass, and the rhythm guitars, some of the leads are live. Right. And then I actually overdubbed the vocals. So that was 3 days. That's what we accomplished. Yeah. And then down the road, we did strings in another session. And then I did vocals in my bedroom at home.
Oh, cool.
I've got like a decent recording setup, and like a decent mic. And I sometimes don't love the pressure of being in a studio as a vocalist, whereas a lot of people thrive in that environment. Yeah. I prefer like the live. Right. I thrive a little bit more there. I feel the pressure, like I feel under the microscope sometimes. Yeah. So that's something that like I was like, it was sounding really good, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to just like go home and be able to like do this, and I want and like kind of get in the zone, and not just be like, oh, today's vocal day. Like, doesn't matter if you're feeling good or whatever. So I just did it like in my bedroom over a couple of days. Yeah.
I feel like that might. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of like recording experience, but for vocalists, I feel like that's almost a better way to do it, because I mean, you know your guitar part and you can kind of just do that whenever. It's kind of always sound the same. But you know, some days you wake up and it's just not your day to sing, right? So like,
yeah, well, if you're stressed or you're feeling like you're feeling like you're lacking confidence that day, that's really gonna affect it, man. Like that's everything.
Yeah.
If you're feeling like a little tense, like that's gonna, like, you can't sing, you know what I mean? So but again, like some people love it. They love it, like, here's my day. Like I'm gonna kill it, you know? So, and actually maybe most people are like that. But I don't know, I'm sort of grateful to be from the MIA background, and I felt confident in being like, I can do the vocals at home. I'm not gonna do a drum kit at home. But I can do the vocals here. So
yeah, for sure.
That definitely came in handy, and I'm happy with how that turned out. So
that's a good move. I know you just released Mountains last week, right? You did a lyric video for that. One thing I wanted to ask you about is you have some like really cool music videos, just conceptually. I was like wondering, like, what you like the No More Stones specifically. I really like that whole video concept.
Thanks, man.
I don't know, just like where does it start for you? Like, with you, like, spend a lot of time thinking of concepts, or?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of like this closet. I have like this closet love for like video. Right. Like I think and there's a thread of fate for me where if I wasn't passionate about music, I probably would have made videos. Yeah. And I often find myself listening to music, and I get so inspired, I start thinking of video ideas for other bands. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like some of my friends' bands, I'll be like, yo, what about this like idea for your song? That's the No More Stones video. Turned out cool. I'm proud of it. That one took a while to come up with, and I think we knew for a while it was going to be the single, and we wanted to do. We definitely decided, we knew that we were going to do lyric videos and like animated videos like Mountains, but we wanted to come out with something like cinematic and like theatrical, like for the first song off this record. I think it sort of started I had this idea that I wanted to do some sort of tug of war. Yeah. Like I was just feeling like the song sort of gave me like images of a tug of war. Right. And it's interesting, we actually shot the video twice. The original idea was it starts off with like we're pulling the rope against like an unknown force. Right. It starts off with me, and then every time like the environment changes as I'm being dragged through, like another member of the band joined on, right, and then pulled and pulled and pulled. Yeah. And then as when TJ jumped on the rope last, we started winning, and then but then it was weird, like each member of the band would die as we went back through the scenes that we like. Yeah. So we were like pulled through, and then we were pulling back to the end. Yeah. I should actually like post the original video just to see what people think. Yeah. It's kind of different, and but like we reshot it for a couple of reasons. The main reason was actually because we wanted to achieve that sort of slow-mo, like dramatic effect. Yeah. But we actually shot it in the wrong shutter speed. Oh. Yeah. Which was like, when it happened, I was like, hopefully we can find like a video plugin to fix it. But then I soon learned that you can't. Yeah. I don't know. Like you know much about video.
I'm starting to learn like the same thing. Yeah.
So it's like the rule of like your frame rate. You got to go like double shutter speed, right? Yeah. So 1/1. If we were shooting 60 FPS, 1/120. But we didn't do 1/120. It was like 1/30 or something. Oh yeah, so
just wasn't matching.
Yeah, so it had like the video, we were slowing it down, and it had like that sort of slow mo vibe. Yeah. Of when movies used to do it before, they had like better frame, like bigger frame like better frame rates. Yeah. So it had this like weird nostalgic feel that was like looks like we were going for like an old school movie, but we wanted it to be like crisp and like theatrical. So we were like, we gotta reshoot it, and then we watched the video and we're like, all right, well, like the whole like band members dying and stuff like that is a little like it's kind of funny, so it's like this video wants to be serious, but it's coming off as goofy.
Yeah.
So we reshot it and just decided like to have me for most of it, and then we thought it was like more effective for like the one moment where all the band members join on.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. That one sort of just like like there was a lot of, it took us a while to get to that final product. Right. I guess that's what I'm saying. It didn't come quickly.
Right.
But music videos is like something I really enjoy making, almost as much as making the songs.
Right.
It can be like quite a headache for some people.
Right.
But I think it's these days, like when people have less, like not as much of an attention span as they used to.
Yeah.
And there's so much content all the time that like in order for you to get like a message across, like you kind of have to, like in my opinion, you like a video with the song.
Yeah.
And like the video telling the song story or doing something parallel that works with the song,
right,
I think is really important to get your point across.
Yeah, for sure.
And I often find myself like up late at night just like on YouTube, like watching videos, like watching music videos all the time. Like I love it.
Yeah.
Or if I have friends over for a beer or something like that, we just cruise on YouTube and watch videos. Yeah. Like probably more often than we do just like put on a record.
Really?
So, yeah. So that's I don't know. Cool. Like for me, I think that's it's just like something I like doing almost as much as making music.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's something like recently I've just started kind of getting into video.
Yeah.
And we did like our first video that we did that'll like be coming out was like kind of thrown together, and like it's good, but I'm like, okay, now like what's the direction after this? Cause and we got a buddy to do it.
This is for Lost Art.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen this video.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, it's not out.
No,
okay,
so
good.
It'll be coming.
I didn't want to seem like I was like,
I didn't do my research.
Yeah. Should have checked out this guy's band more. No,
nothing's out yet. But I'm like, okay, like what can we do though afterwards? So I feel like we're still kind of just getting our feet on the ground sort of thing, right? So there's still time to sort of make some mistakes, but go from there. So yeah, that's something that I've been thinking. And like Julie's a photographer too, so we've been kind of it's really convenient just having your own band photography.
That's true. Actually, when we started the band, I was originally dating a photographer. It's good to have at least someone close to you that's like, I don't know, like that can perform any sort of like there's so many things that you need for as a band, like photography, graphic design is a big one. Yeah. That's where like I feel we struggle. Like,
right.
I mean Nick in our band he's pretty good at it, but like, he wouldn't go walking around saying he's like a graphic artist, or he probably wouldn't go. I mean, hopefully he's not going to listen to this. What the hell, man? But I couldn't see him going around and putting himself out there for hire. Right. For someone else.
Yeah, just something he kind of likes doing like on his own time.
So this video then, are you going to put it out? Or?
Yeah, we're going to. No, I do like it. I do like it. It was just what happened was I messaged the guy who he used to be in MIN, then he dropped out to do music videos. So I messaged him, and it was during that like Ontario strike that went on for like 5 weeks last month or last year, which actually benefited us because the studios were open and
oh really?
So there was a lot of free time, so it was just free for all. So we spent 18 hours I think total 1 week and almost did like the whole EP. We did 5 songs.
Unreal.
So it was pretty wild. So but he was like, I messaged him on a Friday and he was like, yeah, you want to do it on Wednesday? And I kind of had an idea, so I was like, yeah, we could probably pull it together here. Like we just did it like in the jam space, and it turned out like it's good. I like it, but I just want to do a few more videos by ourselves and just have them kind of like lo-fi, but I don't know. I have a few concepts rolling around. We want to do a lyric video, but I want to shoot like all the footage and stuff back home. I'm back home, or I live back home for me is in Meaford. You know where Meaford is? It's like Blue Mountain area.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lot of like mountains and like open spaces and stuff. So I want to kind of like get out of the city.
It.
Yeah. So like I want to go back to Meaford and do a bunch of like music video stuff. But yeah, no, it's cool. You don't see a whole lot of that. Like there's a lot of just performance videos around, and it's something I want to kind of avoid from here on out.
Yeah, like I think it's good to. I think it's something that if you execute it well, like a performance video, it can really connect with people.
Yeah.
A lot. Like when you make a video and you put it out on all your social media.
Yeah.
There's so many people who have never seen you play.
Yeah.
But like maybe know your band.
Yeah.
And I find that like, if you put out an effective music video, that. Yeah, with performance shots, and they see you performing the song,
right. Yeah.
then it's sort of like it can be a good thing for a band. It can make people want to come out and see you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if they watch the video and they're unimpressed or it doesn't look good, then they might be like, okay, now I definitely don't want to go see this band or go see this artist. I don't know. So I find that that's where like with performance videos, it's kind of like it can be a little dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Easier to get away with like a really artsy concept,
right?
Or like, I mean, sometimes it can be a performance video can be easy to pull off as the artist. Like, okay, here we are, we're in this location, we're just gonna play the song, and rock out, and like, doesn't matter if I sing it well because it's the record a track anyway. So that's like, but I mean, it's I think. As time goes on, you got to be more and more creative with performance videos. Do you watch like the Wolfpack videos? Wolfpack?
No, I don't think I have heard of them.
Yeah, you should look at Wolfpack and if you just YouTube Wolfpack, all their like music videos are like performance videos.
Okay.
But they're super lo-fi, like and kind of funny.
Right.
How lo-fi it is. So when you mentioned you want to do like lo-fi stuff, I thought of Wolfpack, and I think they're doing something like very unique and interesting with that.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I think it's like something I was going to talk to you about, which goes in with this, was just like it captures the sort of the essence that you're going for with your band, like that image. I think for we're still trying to find it because we're new, but I think with you, it's really clear with you guys like what you're going for.
Okay,
and I think
that's
cool.
Like, no one's ever said that. People just been like, cool video, man.
It's a cool like. The folk vibes are there, but then there's all this kind of like, I don't know, like post-rock kind of thing. Like, do you listen to Pup at all?
Yeah, no, I love Pup, man.
Yeah, because there's a couple when I was listening to your stuff, I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then like there'll be like this sort of like breakdown part that just like sounds
reminds
like Pup.
You of Pup?
Yeah.
That's interesting. No one's ever compared. I mean, I'm a fan of Pup. I've seen them a couple times, and they're amazing. No one's ever compared us to them.
Well, what are your influences, or who have you been compared to?
I mean, like my influences, like as a vocalist, I really liked, and like someone who inspired me to like to try and be a singer, because I wasn't like, I've kind of like worked my way to where I am.
Right.
I wasn't a very like, I'm not a naturally inclined vocalist.
Right.
Was Glenn Hansard? Do you know Glenn Hansard?
I don't think so.
He's like an Irish singer-songwriter.
Okay.
He made his break with his movie called Once.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
Just kind of like a belty singer, but pretty singer-songwriter, a lot of just acoustic and piano stuff. I really like a Scottish band called Frightened Rabbit.
Okay.
Really, really good.
Right.
Highly recommend them too. And although the lead singer is so obviously Scottish, and when I sing, I'm so obviously not.
Yeah.
We've actually had some publications be like, sounds like Frightened Rabbit.
Oh, really?
And like, yeah, and like, it's cool. But it's sort of surprising because I think, like, and I hope our music isn't like very similar to them.
Yeah.
Because they are like, I love that band, but it's interesting how someone was able to pick that out.
Right.
That I've never met.
Yeah.
I also love The National.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
National.
Yeah.
Really, really like The National. And I really love Bright Eyes. I don't listen to Bright Eyes as much as I used to, but Bright Eyes really good.
That's something I have to listen to because you're not the first person recently to recommend Bright Eyes.
Oh, really?
I need to check that out.
Very lyrical, very not like it's just all about this and just amazing songwriting.
Right.
Really, but like, oh yeah, I love Bright Eyes. Right. But like it can be a little like emotionally heavy.
Oh yeah.
A bit of like you can't, if you listen to it like a lot for a couple of weeks, it might like
bum you out a little bit.
A little bit. I don't know. Beyond that, like I think like for writing, I get pretty inspired by as of late, like a lot of film scores, television scores.
Right.
If I'm like watching something, and I'm like, oh, I really love the music, then I'll look for the soundtrack and I'll just like listen to that. For like a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
And I usually come out with like something like a song will come from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Film scores. Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's something that you can be inspired by. And if you're a band that's not instrumental, it's like it's you can listen to it and feel safe knowing that anything that if it inspires you to write something, it probably will never be too similar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true enough. Eh? Do you have a specific process for writing, or is it just kind of like that, just sort of whenever you feel inspired by what you're listening to?
The last couple of years, I started. Yeah, it was
ruined everything there.
I usually only chase down the ideas that I think are really good. I've rarely like finished a song that I didn't end up like putting on a record. So I actually don't write a lot of songs. Okay. Whereas I feel a lot of my friends bands, they'll write like 20 songs and like one of them is good. Yeah. So I don't write, but I do write often, but not just tons of lyrics. Okay. And tons of melodies and little ideas. I'm constantly all the time. Oh, wow. It's like hard. All the time I'll be like singing melodies into iPhone notes or and then just like my iPhone notes app is like it's got like 1,000 notes. Yeah. And like most of them are not going to be anything, obviously, and most of them aren't very good, but every song that comes sort of like to me now, I can like if I pinpoint it back to like what the original idea was, it was probably me just like at work like being like, sorry, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then like go and like write down something that came into my brain. Or like something that somebody said to me and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then you might even not use that as a lyric, but that will lead you somewhere else. So I guess like, as a songwriter for me, I think you always gotta be giving every idea a chance. Because if you don't, then you know, more often than not, it just like the song isn't gonna come. Right. And also just to be okay with writing something mediocre. Because it might lead you somewhere else. You might be writing a song and be like, oh, I got this one part, but I don't know what the other part could be. But then, you know, you'll go back to another idea that you had that wasn't as good and you'd be like, whoa, this part actually works for the song now. So
that's always a good feeling.
Yeah. I think it's like you gotta just like if you like songwriting and you want to be a songwriter, like you just gotta like always be doing it. Like in every capacity, you know? Yeah.
And that's a good point, like knowing what works. Like if you're doing something and like this isn't really going anywhere, just kind of move on from there.
Something interesting too I find is that I'm finding now like that most of the time the good stuff comes to me not when I'm looking for it. That's not really a groundbreaking new idea. But I'm sort of like sometimes I will cook something new. Or I'll be like, I'll cook for an hour and a half. And knowing that I'll probably have like a cool musical idea. I find like doing like other creative activities will get you in a headspace that you'll want to be in for writing music. So like, you know, if I'm cooking something and it turns out really good, I now have this confidence, like I made something that's really good. I feel confident knowing that I could do it again today. Whereas if I got up and I tried to write a song and it wasn't working out, then I'd probably be frustrated. And my writing would be contrived. And I'd be trying. So I find like doing other creative activities that are not associated with music often gives me the confidence later that day to approach composing or like screwing around on a guitar with more confidence. Like
that's interesting.
Like did you ever pick up a guitar and you're like, I don't even know where to start?
Yeah.
But like if I was like in that situation, I would pick it up and be like, I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna, like, I'm sure something will work out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep playing.
Yeah.
You know? So.
That's interesting. Yeah. Like that concept. So then just in terms of the band, then you're always bringing songs like they'll all start with you and then go from there.
Yeah. And actually Kyle, who plays guitar and he plays a lot of piano now and keys in the band. He is also a really good songwriter and a really good lyricist, and he's contributed quite a bit. Our first record was like almost like a even split.
Oh, really?
For like in terms of lyrical content
right.
and like songwriting. This one is a little bit more on my side.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe I feel like the last like 2 years I've sort of my songwriting has gotten. I've been more inspired.
Right.
Or all these ideas I was just telling you before. Yeah. That's some things that I've adopted like after the first record.
Right.
Yeah. So I think this one sort of came quicker, and I sort of like when those guys when half of our band left, it was like it was an upsetting time, but I feel like those times are very. You can trampoline off those times and like and make art like, very easily.
Right.
Even if you're not writing about the specific thing, but but like I mean we're already writing new stuff and Kyle has some like really cool ideas too.
Right.
But we usually start with chords, melody, and a lot of lyrics. And I find it's really before you bring it to a band, in my opinion, it's really important to have like, unless your song is going to be like one part, stretched out.
Yeah,
I think having like a verse and a chorus or a B part, like at least 2 parts, is really important when you bring it to a band.
Yeah,
because it gives everybody the sense of where the song is going.
Okay.
So if I come into a band practice and I'm like, I have this cool riff.
Right.
And then this is just my opinion. This is what works for me. If I just have the riff and that's it, a lot of times it can go anywhere. Yeah. It can be like, well, this can turn into this. This can turn into that. This can turn into this. And it's just like, it's a little overwhelming. And maybe it gets away from what your idea of the riff, like what it could be. Right. But if you have a riff and then you have another part that goes with it, then everybody's like, okay, I see where this is kind of going. And then they'll be more likely to have more ideas.
It kind of serves the song more than just like the idea.
Yeah, and I feel like you're able to finish the song a lot quicker and chase down what the song's supposed to be as a group, and it's more productive that way. Right. Because then they can be like, okay, I see where you're going with the song. Like, I know where this is going, so maybe I'm gonna play this then. Right. As opposed to if it's just a riff, it's like, cool. This could be that. This could be this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
That's interesting. No, I would agree with that. Actually, I think that's if you're trying to, especially if especially I think with what you're doing, like with the whole essence of your band, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's definitely very songwriter heavy, which I love.
Okay, cool.
Do you listen to Frank Turner at all? Somebody I recommend a lot because she's smiling, but he's one of my favorite.
I really do like Frank Turner. I saw him at the London Music Hall a couple years ago with my brother. Okay. Actually, I think he hurt his shoulder or his back or something, and he couldn't play guitar.
Too. Oh, really?
Yeah, so he just
might have been a different tour.
Like his doctor said he couldn't play guitar or something like that, so he like just frontmaned the show. Right. It was really cool. Actually.
Oh, that's cool.
He did an amazing job.
I have a buddy. It might have been that same tour if it was a few years ago, because he did like a solo tour to the West and then got his band and came back. If that's the same tour, and we saw him in Kitchener by himself, and then again at the Danforth with his band. Which the Danforth is a great band. Have you ever been to the Danforth? I love that band. Especially as somebody that's like 5'6". It's a great venue.
The slanted floors, man. That's great, man. Yeah, for any and all people.
Yeah. But I had a buddy that loves Frank Turner, and he went to I think like 7 or 8 shows on that tour. He just followed him. Yeah.
He's like a Deadhead. Yeah, like a Grateful Deadhead. He's a Frank head.
Yeah. He loves them. I think he opened for the Offspring one time. And my brother and their friends saw him and loved him. Yeah. And they've just been to I've only seen him twice, I think. Besides Colin, I think the rest of them have seen him like 10 or 12 times. And Colin must be like 20 now. But but yeah, so we're huge Frank fans. But he's one of my favorite songwriters. So I usually ask people that are songwriters if they like Frank.
I do really like Frank Turner. Would I consider him an inspiration directly?
Yeah, probably not, but
probably not. But actually, an artist I didn't mention before when you asked me who I was influenced by, and I can't believe I didn't mention. But you ever listen to the Weaker Thans or John K. Sampson?
The Weaker Thans, no.
Oh, really, man?
No. I'm collecting a lot of bands doing this thing also.
One of the best Canadian, one of the best Canadian songwriters, man. John K. Sampson. But the Weaker Thans. Listen to the Weaker Thans. Okay. You really, really dig it.
Okay.
And we've got that comparison quite a bit.
Okay.
But, I mean, they sort of fly under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that you don't know them sort of solidifies that. But it's interesting because, like, Frank Turner is obsessed with John K. Sampson of the Weaker Thans. Oh, shit. So, again, I'm surprised because he's always, like, on social media, he's always like, John K. Sampson.
I'm a fair weather fan,
amazing. Yeah, like Weaker Thans, blah, blah, blah. Like, Frank Turner's always, like, talking about how good a songwriter John K. Sampson is. Yeah. So
I find Frank Turner is a really good lyricist versus a really good songwriter. Like, I think that he is a really good songwriter, but I find his strength is definitely lyrically.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
That's cool. For me, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think his what's the name of the one record? Something Heart.
Tape Deck Hearts.
Tape Deck Hearts.
Yeah.
It was on tip of my tongue. Tip of my tongue. Tape Deck Heart. That record definitely shows how he's like super capable of writing a very popular song. Like he's a good songwriter.
Yeah.
Because I think he set out to like break radio waves. Yeah. And he sure as hell was successful.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's just like, but then like maybe he like his other records and his other stuff, I think he plays things a little closer to his heart.
Yeah.
What he wants to.
Yeah, definitely.
Do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I would agree with that.
Setting out to write songs that won't break waves, but you know, are what you want to do, you know?
But he's like, if you go to a Frank Turner show though, like everybody is there
singing the words,
scream the lyrics around, and it doesn't matter what song. It's like the whole hour and a half that he's playing is wild. That's one of the best shows I've ever been to, and I saw him with the full band. It was wild. The energy in there was pretty insane.
Yeah, agreed, man. It's pretty very anthemic. Lyrics.
Yeah.
Every song has like a big idea to say. Like that's a big. There's a big something to say. You know.
He definitely has that thing though too. That kind of goes against what I said because it's definitely key to being a good songwriter. There's always a part where there's supposed to be crowd interaction, and like most songs, there's usually a part for like gang vocals or something that's meant for people to sing back to him, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like while he's writing, he knows this is going to be the part that they sing. Yeah.
It's pretty.
That's
crazy. Funny. Where'd the name come from?
So it's inspired by a movie I loved growing up called War of the Buttons.
Okay.
It's like a Irish children's movie.
Yeah.
I'm of a heavy Irish descent.
Okay.
Like from both sides.
Right.
And my grandmother just like had it on like a VHS tape, so I would watch it all the time. But anyway, the antagonist from that movie, his name's Geronimo.
Oh, okay. And
it's sort of like this movie about these two clans of schoolboys in neighboring regions in Ireland. One is more sort of preppy. The other one's sort of like blue collar working class. Yeah. They have this rivalry and they fight after school with like slingshots and sticks. And the antagonist is kind of like the leader of the preppy crew.
Okay.
But I think inside he doesn't really believe what they're about, and I think he's more in line with like the you know, the lovable, like obvious like blue collar heroes archetype. So he sort of makes this like big dynamic shift like throughout the movie, and it's sort of like for some reason that it's such a overused archetype, but for some reason that film just resonates with me. I think there's like a nostalgia thing about it. Yeah. But I've always set out to like try and write really honest songs and try not to compromise like what the songs are like based on like how successful we want to be or how successful I want the song to be. And I think that's sort of like what that character's about, is like, you know, being sort of like not compromising who you are. Like he sort of puts on this face for the first half of the movie, and then he kind of like becomes who he truly is.
Right.
And I think like that's what this music thing is about for me.
Yeah.
Is about like, you know, doing what I truly want to do and saying what I truly want to say and being honest about that.
Okay.
I mean, again, which is not a crazy, huge new idea.
Right.
A songwriter or like a musician to say like, I want to be honest, man.
Yeah.
But that's sort of what it is.
That's fair though.
Yeah.
But so there's a big kind of discussion right now in like Mike Rowe's class about band names.
Okay.
And so I was gonna say that I think it's just a really good band name for what you guys are doing. But do you think the band name makes do you think the music makes the band? Like, how do you feel about that? Because Mike doesn't like our name,
Lost Arts,
but
Lost Arts.
Everybody else kind of seems to like it.
Okay.
And I think that it's something that you grow into. Like, I guess my question is, how much do you think a band name really matters?
I think it's good. I think it should match the music.
Right.
And hopefully, in saying that, hopefully our name matches our music. I can't just like say like that's what I think it should.
Yeah. And like,
but I don't apply.
But do you think that it like? I don't know. I'm kind of trying to ask you. Like, do you think though that it just does eventually? Like, do you think it kind of grows together?
Yeah, like down the road. I mean, I think there's two streams of thought. You can have a band name that's like really unique. That's like,
right.
Like I think like one of the, I think the band name Tokyo Police Club. Like when that first came out, I was like, okay, like I've never heard anything like that. And like when anyone says that, you're like, what's that? What did you say?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like something that piques interest.
Right.
There's that stream, which is like I think it's that can be helpful to have like, and then the other line is like, yeah, does your band name just like match the music or like, you know, I think if you come up with the name and the songs, you also come up with the songs.
Yeah.
Then maybe there's some sort of like
somehow
deeper sort of thing that we can't explain.
Right.
That, like this name matches these songs in a way that we can't explain.
Right.
Because and that's getting a little deep. But,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important. I guess I think there's some like I haven't come up with a band name in a while.
Right.
Coming up with album names and coming up with song names and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I think it's something I put a lot of weight on, but I also think it's something that should come naturally.
Yeah.
And with not too much thinking.
Right. Yeah. Well, the only reason I was saying that too is just because I was trying to think in the discussion because we had a whole class on it actually about it. And I was trying to think of an like a band that's big that I've ever thought
that
like
you don't
that's
like the band name?
Yeah, or that I think like why would they name it that? It doesn't match. Like I can't really ever think of one.
Yeah, actually, when you said that, I was trying to think of an example of a band name I didn't like.
I just feel like it's either like that's their name or it's like well that's a great band name. Yeah, like I never.
True. It's either great or satisfactory.
Yeah, it's like okay, yeah, like, that's good. I can't ever think of ever hating a band name. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's a good discussion. I definitely have that now that we are kind of like putting out an EP soon of naming it has been weighing on my mind for a few months now.
It's because you still sort of have that option to
change
it?
Yeah.
Well, you brought up Pop, right? You know they used to be called Topanga?
I didn't know. Oh, I think I knew that.
Yeah, they were. That was for a few years. But then they changed their name to Pop.
Yeah.
And then now... And then that's where I wouldn't say that's why they're successful, but they did have no success, and I do think the band name Pup is a lot better than Topanga.
I do agree with that.
But I think Topanga is a weird band name. Like I think it's named after the character Boy Meets World, which is pretty sweet, and I think for their style of music, I can see them doing that. But
it's interesting. It's a weird conversation because you can kind of see both sides of it. I think, but. I don't know. I think it's just. I mean, obviously, if your songs are good, that's what's more important.
For sure.
You know. But.
Yeah, and I think it's whatever. As long as it's not a bad name, as long as it's not something that's like been said like backseat driver. Or something, where it's like that's the most cliche thing I've ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. As long as it's not something like that.
Yeah.
And you really like it. I think that's all that's really important.
Right.
and the people that are close to you, like their honest opinion is that is not a bad band name.
Yeah,
that's good. It's probably good.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. I definitely would put more weight into like albums for whatever reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why, because I was just thinking about what I was gonna say, and it kind of goes against my whole band name theory. Something like a name for me anyway, like for the album, it's like that's what are these songs are about, you know, and you need to think of something. But it's the same thing with a band name.
That's interesting because both records I've done, we couldn't come up with a name, so we named it after a song on the record, the title tracks. Looking back, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like this record's called The Sled, and I think that song and everything that song is about sort of represents. It sort of does tie it up in a nice little, little bow.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting that you put a lot of weight on that. Yeah. I would too, I guess.
Yeah.
I just haven't come up with like a sweet album name that isn't a song. Right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I try to avoid that for whatever reason, of like title tracks, which I guess it doesn't matter really. It's not something I don't like. I think I just like having like a whole encompassing term that kind of goes with the whole thing. But I don't know, whatever. I'm still learning.
There's a band playing tonight at Taj Mahal with us. They're friends of ours. They're called Elementals.
Yeah.
And they just put out a record called Mother Nature and Her Bipolar Tendencies. I think that's a cool album.
That's a pretty cool album.
So it made me think of that. I was like, yeah, who's got a sweet album name? Oh yeah, Elementals.
That's good. Yeah, that's another thing though, I guess. I'm not that impressed with names maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. I was just going to ask you, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but when all three members left, was that all at one time, or was it sort of like over the course of a few months, or like how did that kind of go down?
It was all at one time. But we knew it was happening for a while, and those dudes are, great friends of mine. Actually, I play in another band with two of them.
Oh, okay.
We're called Big Lonely. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they sort of officially left the band at the end of 2016, December of 2016. Okay. So yeah, a year and a couple months ago.
Okay.
But we sort of made that sort of decision was slowly made through like the summer.
Okay.
And then the fall, I think we knew it was happening.
Right.
But it was something that we openly talked about.
Yeah.
Not super pleasantly, but we did openly talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it sort of came about. Andrew and Cole, who play in Big Lonely, they sort of they liked this idea of wanting to like put all their focus on one project.
Right.
Which I don't disagree with.
Yeah.
I think it is a good idea.
Yeah.
And I guess like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't even know if I've gotten like a really, I think they just, for Cole, I know he loves playing the drums.
Right.
He was playing bass in Geronimo.
Okay.
But like he put him on like behind a drum kit.
Yeah.
And, like
that's
room
where he
lights
shines.
up.
Yeah.
And he's just smiling, and like people are looking around like, who is this guy? It's like that sort of moment. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I can't speak for Andrew, but I think maybe like his time with us like ran its course.
Right.
And, like he was a new addition to Big Lonely, and I think he's excited by those songs.
Right.
And like maybe that's resonating with him more. And then Stu, the third member who's leaving, he sort of was leaving. Just sort of, he's at a different stage in his life where I shouldn't say stage of his life, because I don't think that's really what it's about. Like he's sort of like, he's got like a career job. Like he works in like radio. He works for like Virgin Radio. He's does like promotions or something for them. And he lives in Toronto. He lived in Toronto. Yeah, I guess we were jamming in Burlington. Stu lived in Toronto, so he was commuting.
Oh, okay.
Andrew lives in Welland. He was commuting.
Right.
So that was a big strain, because Andrew was commuting for both bands.
Oh, okay.
Because at one time, me, Cole, and Andrew were all in both bands.
Right.
And me and Cole were in Burlington and band practice. Each band would have a band practice.
Yeah.
each week, so that's 2, and then sometimes you double up on one thing, so it ends up being 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah.
But Andrew was like commuting well and back.
Yeah.
Like, and also like he was like a kitchen manager.
Right.
So he was like, it was like so much. He wasn't really having fun, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, I don't know, like it was really upsetting, and it was like definitely like, I think, an interesting thing to get over as friends. And sort of like some songs came out of it, I think. Mm-hmm. But like the way things are right now, it's just one of those things that you can look back and be like, it was sort of meant to be.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, to be honest, to be on this, like, as if I'm speaking from the Oh Geronimo side of things, to be sort of like the front and leader of that band, like to have those guys leave sort of really made me want to be better.
Right.
Because it's like, well, if we were the best ever, they wouldn't leave. Right?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not, but it's easy to feel that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I think I made some changes that I think I wouldn't have made if that never happened.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of those things you look back and it's like, oh, like, you know, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it was like, oh, it's kind of disappointing.
Right.
It's like feels like a really big like breakup.
Right.
But like with my friends
that
I still have to hang out with all the time. I don't know. Yeah.
Was it like a big rebuilding process, or was it?
Yeah. Sort of. I went through like sort of a weird phase of like wanting to turn the band into something else that wasn't just about making music.
Okay.
But like I had this idea, and maybe I still will chase it down in one moment, but I had this idea that it was going to be like some sort of art collective.
Okay.
Like Oh Geronimo would be not just about music, but like, you know, about other things that we were good at.
Right.
Like, for example, like Drew is an amazing chef.
Okay.
It'd be like he would be able to somehow shine with that creative skill under the name.
Right.
And I couldn't really like figure out exactly what that would have been.
Yeah.
But like I still want to like do a show where like we get to like, I'm also a server, and I love talking to people and like doing customer service.
Yeah.
So I have this idea that it would be cool if we could like do dinner and a show where like at a venue we like cook for everybody and play.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Like, I'll serve everybody and then we'll play.
Yeah.
So going through that, like I had all these crazy ideas, and then but I still wanted to make music.
Right.
So I'd reached out to my friend TJ, who used to play bass in Big Lonely.
Yeah.
This whole thing gets really confusing. Everybody's like still asking me like, what band are you in? I'm like, oh, I'm the one that's in both.
Yeah.
They're like, oh. Like, but what band are they in? I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
But anyway, TJ used to play bass in Big Lonely. He quit, and then I was like, hey, TJ, like, you know, play bass, and like, do you want to play bass for Oh Geronimo? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We might just like write songs and not play that often. Like,
right.
Are you in? And he was like, yeah. Because I think he kind of quit Big Lonely because he wasn't sure like how much commitment he wanted to put into it.
Right.
So I knew I couldn't come up to TJ and be like, hey man, like here's what it's gonna be, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're doing tours, we're gonna practice like 3 times a week.
Right.
Like you gotta put the time in, blah blah. So I kind of like threw it out as a casual thing to him, and I was like, it'll be whatever you want it to be. And then Nick, who plays guitar now, I went to high school with him. We were never really super close, just sort of acquaintances.
Right.
And I think he just made a Facebook status that was like, anybody want to like write music?
Yeah.
And I messaged him. I was like, hey man, like, I'm not sure if like it's what you're looking for, because it seems like you want to start a project.
Yeah.
But, like you want to like come try things for us.
Yeah.
And it worked out. Actually, we asked Nick originally to play bass, and then he came and he wasn't very good. And he was like, I'm better at guitar. And then we were like, okay. So we like had him back to play guitar, and it worked out really well.
That's cool.
And then Drew on drums started learning to sing, to pick up some of the, like Stu used to be like our primary backup vocalist, really good singer and stuff.
Right.
So he was sort of picking up that slack, and I think he's doing a fine job.
Cool.
But yeah, and then I don't know, it just sort of went from there. Like those guys started jamming with us and learning some of the old songs, but like learning some of the newer ones and writing some of the newer ideas. And I think soon after that, I was like, hey guys, oh, you know what happened? So when these guys were leaving, we got a Factor grant.
Oh shit.
Yeah, for studio time.
Right.
So I was like, shit, like these guys are like quitting, but we have this money to make a record. Yeah. And I forgot about that. That was like one of the main reasons why I think we made this record so shortly after.
Right.
But yeah, those guys started writing with us, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna book some studio time. Like, let's make an album. Like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And that was in March. So that was like 2 or 3 months after they started playing with us.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just went from there, man.
That's
we played through the summer, and like I think those guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, and seeming they want to keep doing it, you know.
Right.
But it's one of those things, you know. At least like for me, like I'm just gonna, I'll always continue doing things and like making music no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And I know it sort of sounds like I'm saying like it sort of seems like things are like rocky right now, but they're not. They're going great.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I think it's like sometimes you can't like reach out to people and like ask so much commitment of them. They have to just like give what they want to give.
Right.
And that was sort of what happened with those guys. Like those 3 guys quit, and you can't force them to stay, and you can't really beg them to stay either or anything, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to have people playing in your band that like don't really want to.
It's not gonna be that good.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
So you kind of have to go forward with that idea, like, you know, this is gonna be what everybody wants it to be,
right?
And if you know one person on the road decides like, yeah, like I'm out, you know, it's really disappointing, but like it will work out if you really want it to. Yeah. If you're like, oh, I really gotta find like someone that can play this or whatever, like you will. Yeah. And it didn't take that long for us. Right. Just like we really wanted to.
And you can just people are gonna want to do it. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, when's this officially come out?
February 9th. I believe. Okay. February 9th. Right. Yeah, man.
Cool. Anything else we didn't touch on that you want to tell the people?
I don't know. Not really. Like, just never give up and
any words of advice for everyone?
I don't know. But like who? Like I guess a lot of musicians would listen to this podcast. That's cool. I don't know. It's like finding that like middle ground of like taking yourself seriously but not too seriously. Right. Like.
Yeah, that's important.
I think when you're an MIA, that's something that's like really hard to find that middle ground. Mm-hmm. You like have this idea like, oh my God, like I need to put everything I've got into this. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like if you try too hard, you're not gonna do the best job. Yeah. It's like if anything's forced or contrived in music, like you can hear it, and it's not as good. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. There's that, and then I don't know. I think like if you really want, it's like stuff. There will be times where things get tough and things will be rough and hard to. You'll want to quit and kind of be like, I don't know if the music thing's for me, but you know, I think it's just like especially if you're an MIA, you probably really love music. Yeah. So like I don't know, my advice would be like just like keep going for it. Go on. Like I don't know, you can have a full-time job and like that makes your money, and then you can do the music thing like simultaneously. Yeah. Like it's possible. It's not gonna like be like, oh, you're done MIA and then it's like I'm a musician now. Yeah. I mean, for some people maybe. Yeah. But it's okay to be like, all right, I'm gonna work in a restaurant now and like, but I love making music and I love playing in a band. Right. And like, you know, I know that sort of to some people would seem like a failure or to some people it's like, oh, you don't have a real job. Yeah. But if that's what you really love doing, like then just do it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is problem.
Awesome. I'm stoked to see you guys again tonight. When do you go on?
I think we're first.
Might have to quit
in
this.
An hour, I think. In an hour.
All right. Well, cool.
Ish.
Well, I'll let you get back there,
Boom.
and we'll check you out. Cool,
Sweet.
man.
Thanks, man. Yeah.